Hello YouTube, welcome back. I'm going to attempt to make one more quick prop before I open up my Nightmare Before Christmas Christmas display for this year. What I want to try to see if I could quickly attempt to make is the snowmobile that he drove back into Halloween Town when he left Christmas Town. So I took some screenshots, kind of got an idea of essentially the overall shape of what I'm going for. So my game plan here is to essentially take this sheet of wood, kind of create the initial shape, I guess you can say, as essentially the backbone. And then I'm going to take the rest of the wood and essentially create a bunch of ribs in order to create the nose cone. And I'll use 1x2s and the extra pieces there to overall create the sides and all that. And then I will cover it with some form of either cardboard to make it rigid or plastic, something to kind of make that nose cone look rigid. And then I'll go ahead and get it all painted. I'm not going for something that's going to be like a long-term thing. It's more or less just one extra little thing to just kind of sit in the display for people to stare at. So here we go. Alright, so this is kind of where I'm at the moment with the nose cone. I got that centerpiece that you saw me cut out, which is the main center rib of it that goes all the way down. Everything's going to be essentially built off that right there. And then I cut a circle piece, flattened out the bottom because the bottom of it's kind of flattened out because that's where the skis are hooked to, and then the tracks and all that. And you see I just cut a whole bunch of ribs to fit in here. These ribs are based off the initial center rib where I just took my drop piece and traced it to make all these extra ribs. I think I have about 9 on each side because I'm trying to get it as round as I can. When I go to put something over top of it, it'll kind of, so you don't, hopefully don't see too much flatness between each piece. And I'm also just kind of holding these together with hot glue. If I was kind of thinking about it when I first started, I should have actually made these longer, and then I could have done like a notch where I could have cut a half of a notch on this side, half of a notch on this side, and kind of pushed them together. Kind of like those old like dinosaur, kind of models that you used to get a long time ago where they were all wood and they just kind of pushed together. If I was thinking about it sooner, I would have done it that way, but I already had them all cut before I thought about it. So I'm just using hot glue, which hot glue on this wood grabs and holds pretty good. You can see it really holds pretty good here, so it's not really going to go anywhere. And then once everything's put on it, everything will tie it together. So I'm going to keep on working on it. Alright, I was kind of getting ahead of myself before kind of turning the camera back on to kind of show my progress of where I'm at the moment. So this is kind of where I'm at. You see I got the bottom done, the base done. You see I got cardboard on there and I'm using some, construction paper. Pretty much once I get this fully painted, it'll hold up for, the few nights that it's going to be out there. But if say I wanted to do something more with it after the fact, I'll probably have to fiberglass it or something like that to really weatherproof it. But for now I'm just going to put a bunch of cuts in that, get it to where it follows the shape. I got a couple more sheets, and then obviously just get everything all painted, make some tracks for the back, make a cover that goes all the way across the back there. There won't be anything sitting in it or anything like that. It's more or less just for decoration only, pretty much. So, but I just kind of want to show where I'm at the moment. So I'm going to continue working on it. Alright, so I'm at this point right now. The nose cone didn't quite cooperate as much as I was kind of hoping it would. So you can see where you definitely can see the indentations between each rib, which obviously is going to definitely show up once it's painted. But it's going to be kind of viewed at nighttime anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. I did put some packaging tape on top of the masking tape. I do got to put a little bit more on there just to make sure, and then I'm going to paint over top of that to kind of give it just a little extra weatherproofing, since how that is just kind of construction paper. You see I built the tracks. All I did is I cut 4 pieces to this right here, and then I just took another piece, and you see I just made a bunch of relief cuts all the way around, and that's what allowed me to essentially bend it around the front and the back, and then I just put some 2x4s, obviously in these areas, say with the front. So as I bend it around, I just added screws to it to follow the shape. But it didn't quite turn out like I usually say my vision was for it to be. But like I said, it's only just for this one display. It's going to be viewed at night. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish it up. I just got to do some painting, and then I'm going to put some little strips on the tracks to kind of give it that track look, get all that stuff painted, and then get it out there. Alright, I just went to the store to pick up duct tape and stuff like that, and while I was there, I found that they had colored duct tape. But they only had 2 rolls of the green, and as you can see, the color ones definitely have much less on them than a traditional roll here. So I picked up a regular roll and some paint that was the closest I could find to matching it. So this way, say I do run out of this, I'll finish it off with that and then just do some painting. What I'll do is I'll try to make sure that anywhere I gotta do the painting is maybe towards like the lower back area, just so it doesn't stand out as much as if it's there. I picked up 2 rolls of the green because quite a bit of this nose cone gets green, but there's also quite a bit that gets white too. So I'm hoping between the 2 rolls of the green, I should have plenty to do that and go around the bottom and all that kind of stuff. If not, like I said, I had the regular duct tape to finish it off and a little bit of paint. And then the white roll should be more than enough to do kind of like that snow scallop kind of look that was on the front of that. So I also was going to get yellow for the tracks, but they were out of yellow at that moment. So I'm going to maybe hit another store and see if I can find the yellow. If not, I'll just paint those. So I'm going to get started on that. Alright, well, in theory, it seemed like a good idea, but that green stuff just didn't stick really good. It seemed like every time I turned around as I was trying to run my hand across it to kind of really push all the layers together, I kept wrinkling it. So what I'm going to do is I just covered the whole thing with the other duct tape, and then I have some green paint. So I'm just going to paint the entire thing green with a heavy coat. I'll come back with a brush with some white, do the front, and then I'll do the tracks later. So we'll go ahead and start painting it. Okay, so I finished up the rest of the painting, put the last few details on it. Overall, I think it came out pretty good. It's definitely not one of the best props I've ever made. When it comes to building my props, sometimes I could be a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to certain things, and the nose cone on this thing just did not work out for me. It just did not, retain the shape that I was kind of hoping for. To be honest with you, it actually looks like the front of a Zeppelin. But for a last minute throw together prop that's going to be used for, just a couple weeks, I think it's going to be just fine. The biggest thing is obviously, being recognizable. So whenever you're building any kind of prop that's from a movie, a TV show, magazine, or, anything of that nature, you always want to try to get it to be as accurate or as spot on as you possibly can, because people are going to recognize that thing and people are going to look at it and say, I know exactly what that is. I remember what part of the movie that was in, and that kind of stuff. And with the reference pictures that I was using, I think for the most part, I think I actually kind of got this thing pretty spot on, other than it is a little off as far as overall shape goes. I'm going to show a quick picture of that right now. So as you can see in the picture, I try to use that for how the painting was done on the front, the little light that's in the front, the skis, the tracks, and stuff like that. So you'll have to leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if this thing actually, kind of looks like what it's supposed to look like. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, and thanks for watching.